Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Adventures of one obsessed nutrition coach on a mission to create a world where food makes you better. So today, guys, it's Wednesday and it's our Weight Loss Wednesday day. Today we're talking about weight loss strategies. Sometimes we will be talking about weight loss diets, new weight loss foods, new weight loss habits, a lot of things. Weight loss. I was thinking to myself today and yesterday, weight loss is such a complicated phenomenon. Like people think, or it's energy in, it's energy out. You just eat less and exercise more. Well, that might be truth, but in order for you to successfully exercise more and eat less and also at the same time probably support your health and energy levels in your life, there are a lot of things involved and different things work for different people. And that's why I think there is no perfect diet, no perfect exercise program that works for everybody, because the key to successful weight loss and weight management or weight maintenance is creating those habits that you can actually maintain for life. And those habits will depend on many factors. So what kind of lifestyle you have, what kind of health you have, how much time you have, do you have gym accessible to you, what kind of environment you live in, like does the city where you live support active lifestyle? Is it easy for you to walk there? Like there's so many factors, foods also. Are you constantly exposed to some unhealthy foods or some junk foods? Or is there someone who is sabotaging with their behavior all your efforts? There are so many things, right? And there is no chance that I'm gonna cover all of them on each episode, but I can cover a little piece of it that might help you specifically to unlock that lock of weight loss for you. It might not work for a lot of people, but it might just be the thing that you need to put all the pieces of the puzzle together and finally make it work for life. So guys, in my personal practice, because I'm always trying to adjust how my body looks, that's just, my personal obsession, trying different, things I learned, lifestyle, nutrition, and also practice with my clients. I have many different clients. They're women and men, usually in their 30s, later 30s, 40s, sometimes 50s, but 30s, 40s is my age group that I work with usually. And they are all not athletes. They're busy people with their different jobs, different family situations, different problems, health problems or health issues, or sometimes a lot of times actually psychological issues and their own stumbling blocks, right? Their own challenges that they need to overcome to get the result they want to get. So I have different people and they all, again, require different tools, or I gotta adjust tools to specifically suit them, their lifestyle, their life situation. But what I noticed from my experience is why a lot of people hire me in the first place is to keep them focused on doing what they know is working, and it's not that difficult and they're quite enjoying it and the result they're getting, but they're losing their focus. And that's why they hire me. So I could keep them focused on the things that they do that brings results that they want, so they get to finally reach the final destination and keep it for life, of course, because nobody wants to go up and down, up and down, up and down. It's a waste of energy, it's a waste of your mental and physical energy, and it's just frustrating to get results and then lose it and then have to get it again. And every time you lose a little bit of motivation, a little bit of self-confidence, a little bit of energy, or sometimes a lot. And at the end of the day, you start giving up on feeling and looking your best. not necessarily, your best or best for because of someone else's standards, but best because you can do it, and best because you want it. So a lot of my clients, again, they hire me to remind them to keep working and keep moving forward. How does it usually happen? Like, if you don't have a coach, you start things, and you might start a pretty good program that works pretty well and is giving you results that you want. And then at some point, you start getting results. It doesn't feel that painful anymore. It kind of starts feeling good. And then you lose focus. You stop paying that much attention to what you do. You allow yourself not to do things that are working. You allow yourself, to eat more of the older foods that made you put on weight. So you do less, you do worse, and little by little, old habits return, and then old results return. Surprise, surprise, with old habits come old results. And then you say, it's not working. But the program worked, you just stopped doing it. And it's insanity to expect that you will do your old habits and you will not get old results. The reason why you got in the place where you're trying to lose weight is because of your older habits. So if you want new results for life, you need new habits for life. It's not a short-term solution. You got to figure out a way that you can keep, not again something that you do and then you lose weight and then you do the old thing and then you gain again. And that's what happens to a lot of people, and that's why people hire me as a coach, to keep them on track and figure out the way with them how to create this life program that you get to keep for life, to keep the results for life. So the reason again why a lot of people lose their results is they lose their focus and they start doing the things that actually worked. And so how to avoid that? How to keep yourself focused even without the coach? Like, what's my methodology that works for people? What do I help people to do to stay focused? Well, number one, we choose the program that works for you with the least amount of conscious effort, willpower, energy, that works for you, for your life specifically. At the same time, of course, bringing results that you are satisfied with at the rate that you are satisfied with. So first of all, you gotta choose that program that you can see yourself doing and maintaining without too much struggle, effort, and organizing your whole life around it. That's never a good idea, to organize like your whole life around this one thing. It's going to be too stressful for you and you'll never be able to maintain it unless you're a professional athlete and this is how you make your living. So that's another story. But most of you guys, most of us are not professional athletes where our fitness performance and our physical shape is our living. So first and foremost, you gotta choose the program that works for you with the least amount of effort and energy and time. And then number two, of course, you gotta stick with it. If you do it today and you forget to do it tomorrow and maybe come back to that on Thursday, it's not gonna work. You gotta stick with that minimum program every single day. Like every single day, you gotta stay focused and you gotta do it if you want to keep getting results. Number three, understand, guys, that it takes approximately 60, probably even more, but on average 66 days, they say, to form a habit that feels like a second nature, or basically a thing that you most likely to do without thinking about that. So it takes at least 60 days of consistent effort, of consistently doing it, to build a habit that feels like a second nature. Sometimes it takes less, but not much less really. Sometimes it takes more. It often takes more to have a second nature as a habit. And until then, you gotta consciously remind yourself to do this thing, preferably in the morning, because that's where you most likely to be able to focus your brain on the things that you're actually going to follow through with. Like in the morning, our mind is the most open to suggestions, and whatever you focus on, you're going to keep that. You are more likely to keep that throughout the day. So until you build that habit that feels like a second nature, you gotta constantly, every day. I would even recommend to you, people who are really having hard time sticking with something, to focus on that twice a day, once you wake up and when you go to bed. And you gotta have it in writing, and you gotta have two things in writing exactly. So thing number 2 is what you actually do. What do you commit to doing? Like, what is your strategy exactly? How are you losing your weight? Are you doing intermittent fasting? Have you decided to work on your sleep to help you to stay motivated and to help with your willpower and making better decisions? Are you skipping one meal and keeping everything the same? Are you starting with vegetables and protein and then decide what you're gonna eat at the end of the meal? Like, are you limiting your portions? Are you limiting the foods that you eat, going on maybe on paleo, on keto, or whole food diet? Like, what exactly you commit to doing every day? The more clear that strategy is, like, how much you eat, when you eat, and of course, so you don't go crazy. But the more precise the strategy is, the more precise you write it down, the easier it is actually to follow, because then you have to make less decisions, and less decisions is always better, guys. So in writing, you gotta have what you actually do, so your strategy, and then why you do it. So the result that you want, result that means something to you. A lot of times, folks that I work with, and myself also, I choose a goal that means nothing to me. Fat percentage really means a lot to us. We gotta understand why at the end of the day we want that, like how we want to feel, how we know we're gonna change, how our life gonna change. At the end of the day, we have goals to change the way we feel and to change something in our life that we are not satisfied with. And so you got to be clear about that, and you got to have it in writing to keep the most focus. So keep your eyes on the prize and keep your eyes also on the strategy. So know why you do it and what exactly you do to get that result every single day, and have it in writing and read it every single morning, every single night if you need it, but every single morning for sure while you're on this program. Again, keep your eyes on the prize. Remember why you do it and what exactly you do. So this was number 3, how to keep yourself focused. And then number 4, guys, track progress. Why track progress? Why keeping the record of where you are when it comes to reaching your goal? And like, why do you want to track progress, and how often you should do it? So why do you want to track progress? Because we human beings, when we see results, we are more likely to stick with what we do. Like, nobody likes to waste time, right? If there is a strategy where you're putting effort consistently and it's not working, well, it's kind of frustrating, and you probably don't want to be doing it, and it's demotivating. But a lot of you might not know that you have to actually consciously focus on the result that you're getting, and remind yourself that you are getting results, that it is working. And the only way you can make it happen, if you track progress, to make sure that it's working, to keep your motivation up, and also to adjust your strategy as needed. If you do something and it doesn't work, it's stupid to keep doing it. Einstein said once, doing the same thing, expecting different results, it's the definition of insanity. And when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to fat loss, if you do something consistently, if you honestly say to yourself, okay, I've been doing this for 2 weeks consistently, and you're not getting any results, like any results whatsoever, there is no change you can put your finger on, there is no change you can track, then it's probably not working. And you got to do something else. Maybe you got to do a little bit more. Maybe just walking every day is not enough. Maybe you got to change the way you eat too. There may be different, hundreds, tens, thousands reasons. And when you have a coach, it helps, to figure out what's not working, because the coach has more experience. The coach has more tools that the coach knows works for a lot of people. And also the coach can look at what you do with an objective, more or less objective eye, and tell you, okay, I think that, this is not working because of this, this, and that. And I think in your situation, the most likely thing to work is this, and that. And so let's try a new thing and see how that works. And so every 2 weeks, measure the metric that matters to you. So if you decided to lose fat or lose weight, if it's just the number on the scale that matters to you, then measure that. If you are more concerned about or obsessed with body fat percentage, not obsessed with, but that's what's important to you, then probably finding a way to measure body fat percentage. A lot of gyms would have those machines, as long as you measure your body fat on the same machine, same device, same time of the day, same clothes or no clothes, it's fine. It might not be precise, but if it's the same machine, it will show you the progress. So measure it every 2 weeks, whatever that metric is, and then adjust your strategy as needed. If it works, keep doing it. If it's not broken, don't fix it. As simple as that. Track progress, do it for 2 weeks, track progress again, and when it stops working, adjust the strategy till you get the results that you need. That's that simple. So to recap, guys, how to keep yourself focused on the program that you do, how to not lose focus no matter what happens in your life. And life happens to everyone. Everybody has their work, their career challenges, their family challenges, kids or spouses or relationships, or moving across the world and trying to build up that startup. There are so many things. Everyone has something. So in order for you to get results in any area, not just weight loss, but any area, you gotta keep yourself focused. You gotta find a way to stay focused on what you're doing. And that's the recipe that I found works for myself and for most of my clients. I haven't found a person for whom this doesn't work. And usually, because I'm there to work with my clients through it, it's even more effective. But you can totally do it by yourself, guys. Just apply the strategies that work, not just something you think it might work. No, it's strategies that are proven by thousands and hundreds and millions of people, probably, because the books are written about them. So number 1, choose the program that actually works for you with the minimum amount of effort, with the minimum amount of energy. Don't build your life around some program that never works for life. So choose the program that works with the minimum amount of effort and energy. Stick with that. Number 2. 3, remember that it takes approximately 60 and more days to form a habit that feels like a second nature. Until then, you have to refocus yourself on that every single day. Every single morning, if you're having a lot of troubles with sticking with it, then keep the reminders in the morning, read them in the morning and at night, and have it in writing. Have this strategy in writing on a piece of paper. Have why, your big why, in writing too. So remember to keep your eyes on the prize. Remember why you do it, the true reason that matters for you. And then have in writing what you are committed to doing. So what you do exactly. The more exact it is, the less decisions you will have to make down the road, and the easier it's going to implement this thing. It's got to be as simple as possible, and it's got to be as precise as possible. And then number 4, track progress. To keep your motivation going, to see that it's working, you gotta measure it, you gotta track your progress. And I recommend to track it when it comes to weight loss, fat loss, every 2 weeks, and find one way to measure it and stick with it. A lot of people, at first they measure their weight on the scales, and then they choose different scales, and then they start measuring body fat, and then they start measuring something else, and it's kind of overwhelming and hard to track progress this way, really. So choose one way. It might not be perfect, it might not be the best, but if it works, it works for you. Choose one method to track progress and stick with it. And that's it, guys. So this is a coaching strategy that works. So use it. Don't just think, or I'm special, I'm just gonna do it my way. We all think we are special. Surprise, surprise, everyone thinks they're special. And when we think that we are special, and that's why we're gonna use our own strategy, not writing anything down, not measuring progress, we just gonna do shit. So that's the reason why it probably didn't work for you. Don't be insane. Don't keep doing the same thing expecting different results. If you already failed several times doing something, it means you gotta apply a different strategy. As easy as that, guys. You're not stupid. You're not destined to fail in that area. You just use strategies that don't work. So change them and you're gonna change the results you're getting. As simple as that. So thanks again, guys, for tuning in. Thank you for listening. If you have more questions about more strategies about weight loss, fat loss, or anything really, always feel free to reach out. There is an email in the show notes where you can reach out, ask your question, and I'll give you my best answer, because I'm on a mission to help people live their best life through different nutrition and lifestyle choices. Because I just personally feel awesome when I can help someone else to feel awesome, because I know that when you feel awesome, you're gonna get out there and create better world, more amazing world for all of us. And I just love seeing happy people. That's just how I am. So reach out, guys, and you can make it happen. Together we can make it happen. And besides losing a couple of pounds of fat, if it's your goal, besides that, till next time, I wish you to eat better daily.